Before we had Dak Prescott, Tony Gonzalez, Emmitt Smith, Derek Thomas, or Roger Staubach, there were these guys, Clint Murchison and Lamar Hunt, the NFL's Cowboys and the AFL's Texans in the battle for Dallas. Let's take you back to the late 1950s. The NFL had reached new heights of popularity on the heels of the greatest game ever played.
And then came the final, world-famous scene of this 5-act drama.
United to Amici. Amici powers in.
The Colts are the world champions. A most dramatic finish.
Every major city wanted it, as did 25-year-old Dallas businessman Lamar Hunt. Small problem. NFL Commissioner Burt Bell and the 12 team owners wanted no part of expansion. So Hunt's hunger for a new franchise was met with a counter by Bell. Buy the Chicago Cardinals and move them to Dallas. No dice. The Cardinals told Hunt they'd been fielding dozens of offers from wealthy investors all around the country. With his chances of an NFL team looking bleak, Hunt took matters into his own hands with a brilliant plan. Gather these wealthy businessmen he knew and start a league of their own. In 1960, they became known as the Foolish Club, and their 8 franchises revolutionized pro football.
From a dream to reality in just 1 year, the Dallas Texans of the American Football League.
The NFL suddenly had competition in every direction. Attendance, TV rights, and the draft, just to list a few. So how would they respond? Well, they did exactly what they told Hunt they wouldn't. Expand. Not only did the NFL expand, but they chose to do so in Dallas, handing the keys to oil heir Clint Murchison. Bears owner George Halas got the other owners together and pushed to move a team to Dallas immediately so that Hunt couldn't get any kind of jump start. The city went from no teams to 2 teams in a matter of a month. Sound familiar?
The NFL owners tonight proved the return of the Los Angeles Rams to the market. This agreement also allows the Chargers to relocate to Los Angeles as well.
Hunt tried everything he could to stop it, even filing lawsuits against the NFL. Murchison offered Hunt at least a share in his Cowboys, but that wouldn't work for the AFL founder, who was already in deep with his new league. The battle lines were drawn, and with 2 brand new teams, Dallas was at the forefront. In 1960, Dallas was far from a booming metropolis. Didn't have a TV show yet. It wasn't even a major U.S. city. In fact, it was the second smallest city in the NFL. So how could 2 pro football teams survive? Simply put, they couldn't. When the Texans played at home, the Cowboys were on TV and vice versa. They shared the 76,000-seat Cotton Bowl and never came close to consistently filling it. Hunt resorted to wacky promotions and often gave away free tickets for the illusion of a packed house. Dallas residents just weren't comfortable picking a side.
At left halfback, number 28, ABNER HAYNES, the American Football League Player of the Year, and one of the reason Hank Stram's Dallas Texans bags a successful 8-6 record for second-place honors in the Western Division.
The Texans won on the field first, while the Cowboys won at the box office, even though they went 0-11-1 in their inaugural season. No wins, 1 tie. In fact, Tom Landry's team went 9-28-3 in its first 3 seasons. But with fans able to see visiting team superstars like Johnny Unitas, Jim Brown, and Y.E. Tittle, the Cowboys got away with charging more at the gate. After a 6-8 season in 1961, Hank Stram's Texans ran through the AFL. In 1962, the disparity between these 2 franchises was on full display. The Cowboys won only 5 games, and while they were home for the holidays, the Texans were in the 1962 AFL title game.
The big rush is on, the kick is up, the kick is good! Dallas is the champion! They had to go into the second overtime period to win it.
As the public waited to see what would happen to these 2 franchises, 3 major developments decided who would win the battle for Dallas. First, Hunt's 1960 lawsuit accusing the NFL of monopolizing TV rights, the major cities, and free agency was thrown out in 1962. Second, the NFL and CBS agreed to television rights that would pay each team more than $300,000 annually beginning in the 62 season, double what Murchison's squad had earned the 3 years prior. That was the nail in the coffin for the AFL champs. The Cowboys were now better equipped for long-term success. Seeing the writing on the wall, Hunt began making secret trips to major U.S. cities in search of a new home before landing in Middle America.
Professional football
That most fascinating, most exciting of all spectator sports came to mid-America in 1963 when the Dallas Texans became the Kansas City Chiefs.
The third development fell perfectly into Hunt's lap. In May of 1963, Kansas City made him the deal of a lifetime. He would receive free use of Municipal Stadium for the 64 and 65 seasons and a guaranteed sale of 25,000 season tickets. That's triple what they were getting in Dallas. This was a no-brainer for Hunt. Soon after, Hunt's Texans were rebranded into the Kansas City Chiefs, and the rest is history. And that's where this tale of two teams and one city gets very cool. The Chiefs rose into an AFL powerhouse by mid-decade under Stram. They stampeded the two-time defending champ Bills 31-7 in the 1966 AFL title game.
And he's still running now. He puts it back on the floor.
Meanwhile, Landry overcame having no draft his first year and a bunch of cast-off players. He built methodically with general manager Tex Schramm and personnel czar Gil Brandt, whose diamonds in the rough, the far rough, included finding basketball players, track stars, even a guy at a gas station, all led by one charismatic quarterback.
A long one, and it is complete. Takes it into the end zone for the touchdown.
By 1966, the Cowboys were 10-3-1 and playing for the NFL title against the Packers. That was also the first year of the AFL-NFL Championship, or what became referred to as the Super Bowl. Think about that. The Chiefs and the Cowboys, two franchises once crowded in a smallish Texas city, could now face each other in the first Super Bowl ever. If not for one memorable 4th and goal, it could have happened.
They've got one play to travel 2 yards. Meredith takes the ball, rolls out to the right. He's going to be nailed. A pass away, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Tom Brown. And the Packers have just taken the championship.
So fast forward to 2009. The Texans and Cowboys were finally on the same field, or at least their uniforms were. This AFL-NFL throwback game provided a blast to the past, but would be remembered for something else.
Romo throws and completes to Austin. What a day! No flags on the field. He can fly on home.
Yep, that was Miles Austin wrecking the Chiefs to the tune of 250 yards and 2 scores in his first NFL start. We never saw the two teams play one another. But for 3 seasons in the early 60s, the Cowboys and Texans fought tooth and nail for supremacy in the city of Dallas. What came to be is perhaps the best of both worlds. From Eric Berry to Bob Lilly and Len Dawson to Jason Witten, these two storied franchises will be forever connected.